Channel 3 Eyewitness News begins with breaking news.
Yeah, we are following breaking news here at 7 o'clock. A passenger jet collided with a military Black Hawk helicopter right near Reagan National Airport outside of D.C. So far, 19 people confirmed dead this morning.
This deadly mid-air collision has now triggered a massive search and rescue effort that's going on right now just outside the nation's capital in the Potomac River.
Yeah, this is Arlington, Virginia.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Eyewitness News on the Wax. I'm Tracey McCain.
And I'm Caitlin Francis. Obviously, new details on this disaster have been coming in by the minute since the overnight hours into this morning. We're taking a closer look here at the deadly collision. You see that bright flash in the center of your screen. That was captured from a nearby camera. The American Airlines regional jet from Wichita, Kansas to D.C. was approaching the runway from the southeast, while that military Black Hawk helicopter flying a training flight southwest over the Potomac River.
We're back here live now, a look at the massive police and fire and emergency response as we break down what we know this hour. It's still unclear what caused the crash, but we do know the helicopter was on a training flight. Right now, we know 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on board the plane, and 3 soldiers were on the helicopter. Again, 19 bodies recovered as of this point this morning.
So we're taking a look right now at that live image again, and we're starting to see a little bit of daylight through the area. All takeoffs and landings from Reagan paused until at least 11 o'clock this morning. That is potential to change. Officials also say some major members of the figure skating community were on board that flight. We've got team coverage breaking down rescue efforts in the Potomac River. Roger Susanna at the First Alert Desk, tracking the latest information as it breaks for us.
Plus, your reporter Marcy Jones is live at Bradley Airport, learning the impact on flights here at home.
Meanwhile, your reporter Olivia Schuler in Stratford breaking down what we know about that specific Sikorsky helicopter involved in the crash.
But first, we want to turn it over to weather. We have just issued a first alert for tomorrow morning, and meteorologist Scott Gagliardi has those details. Good morning.
We do. Good morning. Yeah, we'll get much more on the breaking news happening in D.C., but want to get you an update on our first alert weather. We do have a first alert weather day. This is not for today, but it's for tomorrow morning. Some mixed precipitation at the start. Could be some freezing rain, which can cause issues that'll lead to that slick travel and poor visibility. Once again, this is on your Friday morning. National Weather Service has issued winter weather advisories. That's for all of Litchfield County, northern New Haven County, and northern Fairfield County. We'll take you right to it on First Alert Futurecast. Tomorrow morning, we're talking 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Some of the first drops of precip begin to fall, and it's this blue and pink shading that you're seeing through 6, 7, 8 o'clock. We're talking all of Litchfield County, and then the valley locations through, say, Oxford, Ansonia, Shelton, Seymour. The valley locations, you're going to have a tough time moving. It's have a southwesterly wind, but getting that cold air out of the valley locations, you get that freezing rain. We've seen this set up several times here in Connecticut. Not so much just this past year, but even more so recently. Notice even 8, 9 o'clock, some of that freezing rain still through northern parts of Connecticut. And once it rains later on in the afternoon and evening, this is a chilly rain. Temperatures 34, 35 degrees. Could end as a few wet snowflakes, but right now outside, a beautiful start to our day. Sunrise coming in the next 30 seconds. Temperature cold in Hartford, 21 degrees. Everybody dealing with those teens and low 20s. There's a wind chill making it feel like 5 to near 15 degrees. There's some improvements later today, but once again, tomorrow we have that first alert weather day issued. The latest on that, as well as what to expect for the weekend. That's all coming up in just a few minutes. Good morning, Kate.
Hey, good morning, Scott. Good morning, everyone. Here, if you were getting ready to hit the road, approaching 7:04 here on your Thursday, your drive times all looking fairly typical. We're approaching an 80-minute ride, 95 southbound towards the George Washington Bridge. The Parkway, as you can see here, a little bit of orange over Bridgeport, backing up just a little bit, excuse me. But no crashes, no major incidents as you're getting ready to hit the road here this morning. If you're heading to work or bringing the kids to school, live look here, 91 north and southbound. Right in the capital city, here's a live look outside in Middletown along Route 9. You can see the Connecticut River, a little icy out there, but very clear in terms of visibility with the Aragoni Bridge in the distance. Live look in Waterbury, 84 east and westbound by the Mixmaster, and in Meriden, 691 east and westbound. Daytime construction picks up between about 8:30 and 9 o'clock this morning. We'll have much more coming up in the next 20. I'm Caitlin Francis with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
All right, we have to get right back to that big breaking story because we are learning more information by the minute about that major crash where an American Airlines flight slammed right into an Army helicopter. We now have new information about that crash site. It's very difficult to look at, but I do want you to look at your screen right now. The area that we circled right there, you can actually see the moment boom with that flash where the two aircrafts collided. We know the pilots of an American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas, and an Army helicopter based out of Virginia that was apparently out on a training mission crashed into each other. U.S. ice skating officials also tell us some members of the skating community were on board that plane, and Russian media is reporting the 2 former world champions were also on that flight who resettled in Connecticut, according to ice skating media. Investigators are still trying to figure out what exactly went wrong here, but CBS News reports it appears the pilot of the plane may not have seen that helicopter until it was too late. Live at the First Alert Desk, I'm Roger, Suzanne, and Tracy.
All right, thanks, Raj. We are also learning that crash will impact flights here in our state.
Yeah, it could also lead to a significant emotional reaction from travelers. Your reporter Marcy Jones is live at Bradley International Airport, where she's digging deeper into how this tragedy will affect people right here in Connecticut. Marcy, you've been talking to some of those travelers. What are you learning?
It's a pretty heavy feeling, as with everybody who is tuned in and watching all of the developing news that's going on with the investigation in D.C. It's just a very heartbreaking morning as the reality of what happened is settling in. But as far as the impact here on travel, specifically with Bradley International Airport, we know that 4 American airline departures and arrival between here and Reagan National have been canceled today due to the tragic crash in D.C. and the ongoing investigation. Now, I've talked to a few travelers this morning, including a private pilot from Torrington, Danny Hall. Now, that name may ring a bell for you because he survived 2 plane crashes in Connecticut, one in 2008, one in 2014. Danny, who also served in the military, said he didn't sleep at all last night ahead of his flight this morning, watching the coverage of the horrific crash.
I have, radar, TCAS in my airplane, and it's very difficult to get close to an airplane or helicopter that I can see and something like this happening. So it's really hard to say. The visibility was great, and you look at I was watching the video last night. I'm traveling today, and I didn't get no sleep because I just kept looking to see what happened and whatnot. But I do a lot of flying myself, and with with the TCAS and the radar, you don't see something like this every day, that's for sure.
Again, we know that flights are on hold at Reagan National at least until 11. That is fluid. That could change at any moment. Of course, we'll bring you any updates as they come in. Your reporter in Windsor Locks, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, we have some video here to give you some perspective on the type of flight that crashed. We're giving you a look at the U.S. Army flight students training in a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter.
Yeah, this is similar to the one that was on a training flight last night when it collided with that passenger jet over the Potomac. And we just learned, actually we sent a push alert straight to your phone 4 minutes ago, that Army helicopter did not respond to air traffic control warnings before the deadly collision. So again, that Black Hawk was a Sikorsky-made aircraft, and your reporter Olivia Schuler joins us now live from Sikorsky with what we know. Good morning, Olivia.
Tracy and Caitlin, good morning. Well, officials tell us that the 3 soldiers that were on board that Black Hawk helicopter, it was being used for flight training, and that's what happened before it collided with that passenger plane. Now, right now, we do not know the identities of those 3 soldiers that were on that Black Hawk helicopter, but that is what we are working to gather for you this morning. And we do have some new information for you. As mentioned by Caitlin, you did receive that push alert that crews on the helicopter did not respond to air traffic control when they asked them to if they saw the plane in front of them. There was no response. This was about 30 seconds prior to that crash taking place. Now, we do know senior Army officials often use Black Hawks for travel in the Washington, D.C. area. U.S. defense officials confirmed the helicopter was not carrying any VIPs. The UH-60 Black Hawk is the exact aircraft that crashed. Sikorsky's website says it's used to transport troops, deliver supplies, and fly search and rescue. Now, we do know that the Black Hawk came out of Fort Belvoir, which is an Army post in Virginia. Now, as we know, more than a dozen bodies have been discovered at this point. It is still unclear if any of those bodies that have been pulled from the water include the 3 soldiers that were on that Black Hawk helicopter. Your reporter in Stratford, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Olivia, thank you. Of course, we'll be keeping track of this horrific incident all morning long into the day, and I'm sure in the days and weeks to come, bringing you the very latest information as we learn it from officials. Be sure to download that WFSB app. You see the QR code on your screen. That will help you stay up to date on this incident and others while you're on the go. We just were talking about that push alert that got sent to our phones. Scan the QR code again for more breaking news alerts.
All right, turning now to our big local story this morning. We have new details on the officer-involved shooting we first brought to you as breaking news yesterday.
A police shootout on the shoreline left 2 officers shot in the leg and a suspect dead. The West Haven officers were serving a warrant at a home on Grand Street in New Haven, Grand Avenue, I believe, and that's when the suspect started shooting.
Police shot and killed the suspect, they say, was a 35-year-old man who had a long criminal history. The Inspector General's office is now taking over that investigation.
As we get another check of your first alert forecast, the time right now 7:10. A live look outside in New Haven. A beautiful start to the day. The sunrise just coming in. Temperatures, they're cooler, 25 degrees. There's still that light breeze out of the northwest in New Haven at 7. First alert live radar scanning the state completely dry. This will change, though. By this time tomorrow, we have a first alert weather day for some freezing rain for parts of the state. Right now, it's bone-chillingly cold. Check out the teens in Salisbury through Torrington and through Waterbury. Most everybody else near 20, if not those lower and middle 20s. There's a bit of a breeze, though, 5 to about 15 miles per hour, making it feel much colder. Salisbury, 1 degree right now, 3 in Torrington. It's a cold start to the day. This is what you're dressing for if you're heading out to work or school this morning. Your feels like trend through the next several days. It's a roller coaster. We're warmer tomorrow, colder for the weekend, then a mild push by Monday. I'll let you know what to expect in terms of temperatures as well as more on that first alert weather day for tomorrow. That's all coming up with your full first alert forecast.